marketing, sales, supply chain, finance, all HR, all of these different disciplines. And yes, there is an umbrella of this undertone of AI on this. But I really want to get into talking to this very, very diverse group of professionals on, let's get beyond the hype. And even though, for some of us, and you can go back to the other slide now, that we may not have the fear, for those of us here at the conference, but that there's a lot of fear in workers right now. So I'm hoping we can get beyond that and really give you something practical to take back as far as not just recruiting and bringing in, but also retaining employees. So I'll let each of our panelists quickly introduce themselves. Thanks, guys.
Hey, we're on here? Yeah. All right. Hey, my name is Scott Crossett. I am the CEO for Cameron Smith & Associates, and we are a consumer goods executive recruitment firm. We've been based here in Northwest Arkansas for 30 years. We've got a 26-person team. We specialize in Walmart suppliers and talent for Walmart suppliers, as well as any talent on other major retail hubs such as Kroger, Amazon, Target, Home Depot, you name it. So anyone that services those accounts, that's kind of what we do. So, perfect. Bill, thank you for putting this on, and your 20 years of technology expertise and helping Northwest Arkansas become a hub here too.
Appreciate it. Jordan.
Hey, I'm Jordan Franklin. I'm the CEO of Gumption. We are a recruiting enablement platform. We use AI and large language models to help source and serve up the right candidates. So, fantastic. A whole lot more.
Denise.
I'm Denise Natishan. I am not a CEO, but I work with Cameron Smith & Associates. I began my recruiting career up in Toronto, where I placed women at board, middle, and senior management level positions. Met Cameron back in the day when I moved to Arkansas, and was very fortunate to be a part of the team where Cameron was really a pioneer in starting this whole vendor community that's booming and continues to be the Bentonville boom. So I've been there and excited to be a part of this panel. So thank you for creating this, Bill.
Thank you.
Mike.
I'm Mike Whittington. I'm the president and owner of Matchpoint Recruiting here in Bentonville. We work across multiple industries, work across all across the United States, multiple positions, and I've been recruiting for 22 years now.
Ms. Dana.
Thanks. I'm sort of the odd woman out on this panel. I'm not a recruiter. I spent about 26, 7 years various tech companies in various roles, and I, about 18 months ago, came over to J.B. Hunt to run their internship program for software engineers.
Perfect. Beth.
Thanks, Bill. My name is Beth Pittman. I'm a Skills Lab training, and we help people build their confidence and inspire the possibility to help them flourish in their careers. And we do that through leadership development, career coaching, executive coaching, recruiting, HR strategy. And so we work with startups, we work with regular businesses, we work with nonprofits, and all across industries. So.
Perfect. All right. Well, we're just going to dive in here real quick. I've got a number of questions. We'll be lucky to get through half of them, but this is a big, big topic. We could talk about this for a few hours. But let's start. Mike, I'm going to start with you. And I'm trying just to get a feel for what are some of the top technical skills that kind of your companies or clients that you're working with are currently looking for in new hires, and really, how has that evolved over the last couple of years?
I would say for us in the positions that we work on, it really comes down to the analytics. It's changed quite a bit. The requests we get are for really advanced Excel skills, Tableau, Power BI. It used to be years ago where you would talk to a hiring manager or get a job description, and it would be someone who's strong analytically. And now it's all across. I mean, that's kind of required at all levels. I've been very surprised over the last few years that even the people that are not doing the analytical work, the people that are managing those people, hiring managers want them to understand it so they can be better managers. And so that's the thing that I have seen the most is really specific on the analytics. And we have hiring managers say, we have all of this data, we don't know what to do with it. We have census data, weather data, sales data. We've got plenty of it, just have no idea what to do. We need people that understand not only the data, that can pull the data, but someone who can build a story. And I can think of a couple of situations where it was the sales team that said, we can sell all day long, but we've got this data, we just don't know how to use it.
Yeah, I see a lot of that. And I failed in my introduction to say I teach marketing at the University of Arkansas, so I spend a lot of time with my students. And the storytelling part of that is a major aspect of the soft skill side that we're really trying to implement before students graduate to do that. So it's good to hear that reinforced. Denise, any thoughts from you on that?
Well, I
Yeah.
so totally concur as far as what Mike is being said so far. And when we got the questions ahead of time, I cheated and I sent out to a number of my clients that I did it with Fortune 100, Fortune 500, and smaller entrepreneurial companies. And basically, the whole gist has been we need analytics. We need data scientists. We need anybody with predictive analytics so that we can use all the tools that we have to be able to be better ready to help our consumers, to help the supply chain. So really just echoing all of that as far as needing good storytellers, good communication skills.
Appreciate that. Jordan, any thoughts on you?
I think when you're thinking into the future, though, you're looking at like prompt engineers and you're looking at those kind of positions too. So yeah, that's what they need now because we're solving a problem that we have now, right? But when you're solving a problem that you have in the future, you're looking at prompt engineers and you're looking at AI engineers and you're looking at those types of people. So if you're solving the problems that you're going to have in the future, that's the positions that you're going to need too. So we need to start creating those positions now because those are the problems we're going to have.
Well, and Dana, you're in the trenches right now with a lot of collegiate students that are coming in through some of the intern program at J.B. Hunt, and I've always loved the quote about J.B. Hunt that was, that the company's really a technology company that's masquerading as a logistics company, right? As a part of that. But I guess what are you seeing from students that you're bringing into these intern programs and then organizing when you have them?
Sure. So we look for something a little different. Obviously, they're just getting started in their career, so
Sure.
they don't have all that experience in sales and in big data. But what I look for is the ability to communicate and the ability to understand that underlying code. So I feel like once you have that, you can then find the people to create the storytelling.
Got that. So switching gears slightly, Beth, I'm going to switch over to you a little bit here and say, apart from the technical skills, what are those soft skills that, from a coaching standpoint, that are considered essential for any, not just your candidates, but even current employees to succeed in their organizations nowadays?
Yeah, soft skills are always going to be popular. They're always going to be important. I think coming out of the pandemic, we've seen some different soft skills rise. It's always been, communication has always been important, but what does that look like to a remote or hybrid workforce? What are you doing to stay engaged or keep employee engagement with the teams that are no longer sitting next to you? The other thing is problem solving. That is really big right now. And so making sure that people, if they get the data, what does that look like from a problem solving standpoint? So we're really talking to students about what that looks like and then also executives. And then the last thing I would say is the adaptability. AI is so cool right now, and so being able to adapt and really apply that to your business has been a big deal. So clients are looking for adaptability as well.
Yeah. So Scott, Jordan, I'm going to maybe switch over to you guys a little bit and then say, are you using any kind of AI or machine learning tools or processes in your recruiting process nowadays?
Sure.
Yes.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, so we are going to be slow adopters, but we do adopt some. So when I say that, meaning there's a lot of text messaging apps, there's a lot of cold calling apps, there's a lot of automation, there's news aggregators, there's some SEO functions that help you find resumes and candidates quickly. What we're experiencing is every time we use something like that, you lose a little bit of the personal touch, and then there's a little bit of a quality challenge right now. So if we mass text or mass email a group of people, we're probably going to send somebody the wrong email or the wrong message or make some mistakes. And so we're trying to improve our technology and our capabilities, but doing it at the right pace. And so this market here is our most important market. So when we do stuff, we try to test stuff in other markets, maybe in Seattle or Chicago, where it's kind of a little bit less risk to our brand. But there's a lot of things, but with it comes a little bit of risks. And then we also want to be very protective of our data and our privacy and try to keep it as close aligned to our CRM and ATS system as possible versus going out and getting a lot of third-party resources that tie in and come with some security risks and things. So there's a lot that goes into that, but that's, I hope that
Yeah,
answers your question.
makes sense. Well, I go back, Jordan, before I bring it to you, to Mike and Denise's point on the importance of storytelling. And I think while that has been a tried, true, and tested skill set, I grew up in the category management arena within retail, and that was absolutely a crucial skill set to be able to tell that story and get to the why behind it. I can see in this world of AI that there's a transfer of that skill set of being able to not just storytell with data, but to know and be trained and be knowledgeable enough on the business to ask the right question, which is what we've been talking about the last 3 days here in this breakout series of prompt engineering and of being able to ask the right questions so that you can get a better output. I'll find that. So Jordan, be curious on your perspective on that. Yeah.
Yeah, so Gumption spawned because we own a staffing firm. So Stratus is our staffing firm. Gumption is a standalone organization, but it's a recruitment enablement tool that is all AI, large language models, like I said earlier. We utilize all of that in order to really understand the person as a whole and make sure that we're making the right decision culturally and not really finding a candidate just based off of their resume. So we want to have those communications. I totally agree with you on we are in human resources, so we really want that human interaction. But there are things that can happen up to that human point that can be automated. But it needs to be automated in the right direction, right? So we need to have those communications, and it needs to be coded in the right direction. I 100% agree with the 25 million different options of the plugins. Probably not the right solution. I think that all needs to be a communication within one solution that's doing it all together and communicating in one direction so that we're all in one boat rowing in the same direction, making sure that we're putting the right person in the right seat. So that's what Gumption's trying to solve that problem with AI and large language models and things like that. Yeah.
Another one,
sure.
addition, I was thinking, we've just started utilizing ChatGPT to write job descriptions. And I could see that in some form, I think resume writing might move to that also. So it still takes a little bit of correction on our part, but we can combine job descriptions and use ChatGPT, so it's pretty cool.
Well, and I think we're going to see a pivot between the Tech Summit this year in October versus next October. This will be a completely different conversation in what that looks like. And right now, because we're all newbies in this space, and we saw this inflection point happen in November, that we're focused on the downstream side of type something in, get something out. And we're just beginning to realize this, what if I upload something and actually take the upload side of it and then have the analysis done on that end? I think there's going to be a lot more discussion on that. Mike, you had a thought?
Well, I was just going to say, we all use applicant tracking systems, and those are becoming smarter, and they're adding an AI function to most of them, or they're upgrading to that function. And so we're able to put in a job description and then ask for what would be great questions. I'm a hiring manager for this role. What would be the top 5 questions that I should ask? And then we can flip that around. I'm a candidate for this role. And so we're playing around with it. It's been very helpful. So we're all going to have ideas that we would ask those questions, but the AI part just kind of supplements what we already have.
So Beth, some of your clients that you're working with, are you seeing clients now coming to you say, okay, I may not have a technical background in machine learning, AI in this area, but I know that this is going to become an undertone of what it's about. It was interesting, again, if you go back 25 years ago where Bill Gates, he made the prediction at the turn of the current century saying there's going to be a day where you don't go online. There's going to be a day where it's this blurred line between your desktop experience and your online experience, and that's exactly what happened. And we're going to see that, obviously, in the AI space where we don't go and actively seek out these applications, that it just becomes seamlessly integrated as a part of the everyday. And so I can imagine some of your clients are saying, how do I not only just play catch-up in this space, but how do I lead?
Yeah, I heard this analogy last week where it said AI is like the Model T. It's so much better than riding a horse, but it still has so far to go.
Right.
And so I thought that was a really good analogy. And so when we're working with clients, they want to have an AI expertise, but a lot of people don't have that. And so they're trying to grow that that group of people, and they're really looking at people that have skills that are easily adaptable. So being willing to learn AI or being early adopters kind of goes back to that adaptability and what that looks like. But there's not a lot of people with this background.
Yeah.
And so what they're trying to figure out is what does that look like and what skills are transferable.
Yeah. And so Dana, over within your world, can you share some of the kind of initiatives that Jimmy Hunt's been working on as far as how do you improve diversity and equity and inclusion in this whole process of bringing in this new age skill of worker?
So, sorry, I had an answer and then I'm changing it.
That's all right.
So as far as inclusion, I hire software engineers. So entry-level software engineers. So by nature of what I do, it's a diverse group. So I'm looking for the best person who is able to communicate, who is adaptable, who loves to learn. Somebody coming right out of college is not going to be ready for a job in AI. They might have a certificate for it, but they're not going to be ready until they understand what it is they're automating.
Perfect. And Denise, I know you've always been a champion of equity, diversity, and inclusion, especially getting women on board of directors boards and that. Anything you're seeing with some of your clients as far as how to ensure that this new day, the new skills coming in, is helping to manage diversity and inclusion in the workforce?
I think it's always been
Yeah.
an issue that people are trying to make sure that they stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
And so how do they do that, especially at more senior levels? Because as we said, it's so early. It's almost like e-commerce was back in the day that people just didn't even have that skill set. So how do you train that up?
Right.
Especially when you get to the more senior levels. So I think when I talk to my clients, what they're doing and what we're doing is reaching out to the community as much as possible. We actually have someone on staff at CSA now that's as our diversity and inclusion person, so that we're reaching out to the community, reaching out to specific employment groups, reaching out to colleges and universities that are targeted that recognize that kind of capability. So I think all the companies that we're working with at the higher levels that can do that are.
Got
and then
it.
we're trying to help the ones that maybe don't have those kinds of resources.
Got it. So from a remote work standpoint, obviously, Beth started alluding into this. I mean, obviously, this is a new skill set for managers. I mean, we're now not just having to be anywhere leaders, but we're having to be what I would call screen time leaders, where I'm now having to manage teams around the globe through Zoom and through a small window. I may not have actually never even met this individual in person. But any thoughts, and I'll just kind of open it up to the full panel on skill sets to manage a virtual remote workforce now. What does that look like?
Yeah, I'll start. It is difficult, and so you think you've got a handle on it, and then you realize the person hasn't been working. They've been laying on the couch watching TV. It's very frustrating. But really trying to build that relationship early and often, I think is really important. And understanding emotional intelligence, what that means for you, what that means for your employees, and how you stay engaged with that. We've been doing a lot of training on that, honestly.
Yeah.
And I'm actually
Dana.
going to jump off of that. So again, I'm at this at a different point in people's careers, right? So we are, in fact, developing a generation of software engineers who want to work in person. You got to understand that a lot of these guys and gals spent a good portion of their high school careers remote because of COVID. And so they now crave that human connection. They understand the benefit of, they don't understand something, they can turn to the person next to them. As they get later on in their careers, it could be more of a remote situation, but as of right now, they love to be in person.
Yeah. Scott?
I would just say, I'll tell you what we're seeing in our market here in the consumer goods industry. The small companies, they need to compete in different ways. They're offering remote work and more flexibility than the midsize and the large. The midsize and the large, they're going back hybrid 3 days a week minimum, and they're pushing for 4 or 5 days a week. And if you don't want to go in, then they're starting to say, well, for you to promote, you need to be visible. And this is with the larger companies, and they have different cultures and stuff. So that's what we're seeing, and that's just consumer goods industry. I know the tech industry is a lot more remote, and probably need to be because there's probably a little bit less supply of talent. But that's something we're starting to see in this industry.
Jordan?
They're not a lot more remote. They're probably on the same page. They're probably in between. Some of them are hybrid, some of them are all on site, but they're just about the same as you are.
Yeah.
And I can see it. I can see it going both ways. We have the same kind of situation as you. A lot of people want to be on site. They like to be in the office. It just really depends on what kind of what generation you're talking to. But we employ a lot of younger people internally, and they like being in the office. We do work from home Wednesdays, and kind of allows them to have that flexibility one day a week, and then they really like to be there to ask questions. So.
All right, for the sake of time, so we're just down to about 2 minutes here. So just really quickly, and I'll popcorn style this one as well, just jump in. Emerging technologies or trends, AI aside potentially, of what you're going to be looking for in candidates over the next 5 years.
I'm going to pop into this because I feel a little bit passionately about this.
Yes.
Even as AI becomes a bigger part of what we do on a daily basis, it will never replace human connection. Thank you.
And drive.
Amen.
Amen. I think that says it all. I mean that in a really perfect way, because I think what we all are seeing when we work with our client companies is, whether it's going back into the office remote or whether it's technology, that human connection, that human touch. So it's high tech, high touch. How do we continue to have that balance within an organization? And now, when you were talking about it too, in the younger generation, there is a whole generation that's exiting as far as retiring, and what kind of succession planning. Those are the trends that companies are really struggling with right now.
And I would say with that younger generation, I'm more willing to put my time into you if you're willing to show me your drive. Like even if you're remote, like you're willing to show me that you're gonna do all the things that I've suggested, even just as a suggestion. Like, I'm gonna pour my time and my effort and energy into you, all my extra time and effort and energy into you, if you're gonna show me that you're gonna reciprocate that back. Absolutely, I'll be there for you, and I'll answer every single text. But if I give you information and things to go and do, and then you don't,
Right.
then why'd you ask?
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that kind of personality situation, you can teach tech.
Yeah, you can't teach some
You
of the
can't
soft skills.
teach soft skills.
Yeah,
Like
so
there's
what
some,
you
you can teach soft skills. There's some things that are just innate that's why it's in Gumption. That's why we do personality tests, to figure out if they fit within your team.
Well, and we'll just lead off here because I know we're just about at time, but I think something I'm really excited about when I look at just not only the next 5 years but the next 12 months is the autonomous agents. If you're not familiar with that, begin to research that. ChatGPT is going to roll this out next week as a part of it, but basically being able to almost have my own advisory board. And what we play with this in academia is I can go in and say things like, okay, I might be the CEO of Coca-Cola, but I can say, I'm going to create my own autonomous agent and almost play chess with myself and say, assume you're the CEO of Pepsi, and now let's go head to head on what our Central, our Central America strategy needs to be for World Cup marketing or about that. So what's been really interesting, what we did in academia is done some exciting exercises around, I remember it was a couple of weeks, I'm almost about to call my marketing class Taylor Swift 101, because we talk so much about what's happened and her impact on the NFL and what that's meant to marketing. But I look at the finance majors and the supply chain majors, and we take these articles that are written from a marketing perspective and we upload them into AI tools and say, now take this article and reframe it for me in the stage of finance and through the terms of what does this mean for HR? What does this mean for supply chain when Heinz literally creates a product overnight called Seemingly Ranch? If you're not familiar with that, yeah, your kids are, trust me. Of being able to create this product overnight. What does that now mean? So, I think the shift we're going to start seeing here is not just the downstream side of it, but the upstream side. So we're at time, but I want to thank the panelists, and again, thank everybody for their attention here. I know we could all talk for about another hour on this, but appreciate everybody's perspective.
Thank you.
And appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ready. Okay, up next.